everyone, I am Solia and I'm so glad you're here. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I don't think I've ever done one for YouTube. I've done one when I had my Life of Solia series on Instagram, but I think this is my first Get Ready With Me for YouTube. I'm excited. I'm getting ready for just my day, but I like putting on makeup sometimes when I have time and I'm in the mood to put on makeup so that people don't ask me if everything's okay. Or they don't look at me and be like, oh, she's struggling. Yes, I am, but I don't have to look it, okay? Go ahead and put this on your phone or on your iPad or on your TV and grab your makeup and let's get started. I have been super busy just like trying to, align my steps in the direction of my goals, like my true goals, and really asking myself, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? What are your goals? Those have been like some really fun questions to answer. I'm stressed. So I've washed my face, I've put on serum, I've put on a moisturizer, and now I'm going to follow it up with a primer. I always use a primer because I have oily combination skin, and if I don't use a primer, my makeup is literally sliding off. I've seen people who have oily combination skin and they don't use primers and their makeup isn't sliding off, but they just have probably a secret that I don't know. But in my experience with my set of skills that I currently have, if I don't use a primer, girl. So we're just gonna put some of this on and continue talking. If I can get some out. There we go. Squeeze. And today's makeup look is gonna be super simple because I have to go to work later and I'm not trying to be like full glam. So I just literally is just to be like, oh, she's awake. She's, is that her skin? It's almost like almost a no makeup look. It's not a no makeup look. That's not what I'm going for. I definitely don't care if you can tell if I have makeup or not. It's more just to like look a little bit more effortless and a little less tired. So, but yeah, I have just been trying to figure some things out. But in the meantime, still having fun with YouTube and having fun with my music, and not saying that I'm not doing music. That is not an option. Not doing music is not an option, guys, but just trying to figure out how I can combine my goals of doing music with like creating a sustainable career. And then I'm just gonna buff all of this out with a makeup sponge. This is the Real Techniques makeup sponge, which I like a lot. I think I like it a little bit more than the Beauty Blender, only because I don't think I figured out how to properly use a Beauty Blender, but this one does just fine for me. This is just water. It's not the Studio Fix Plus from MAC. It was once upon a time, but I've long since finished it and was like, this is actually a really nice bottle, and I like that the spray misty thing that it has, so like I use it to moisten my sponges. But like I said, so that is one thing I've been working on, is trying to figure out get a better handle on my personal finances so that I can do the things that I want to do in terms of like being able to afford a house, being able to make sure I'm paying all my bills. I pay my own car note. I pay my own insurance. I pay for my phone. Like everything that I need, with the exception of a house, is what I pay for. That's the only thing that I'm not currently paying for, which is I'm very fortunate. Not everyone can do what they want to do because they're worried about rent. So I recognize that is a privilege that I have, and I don't take it lightly. Now that's done, we're gonna move to the eyebrows. You get these at the beauty supply store for like $1, $2 or something like that. I usually just get a dark brown, and anything else that I want to do with it, I do powder. But this is like it's super simple, super cheap. Creatively, I'm so happy that it's been a good summer with my music and like just trying to get that out. Like I've got a couple of listeners on Spotify, and if you listen to me on Spotify, I love you. Thank you so much. If you want to share it with your friends, your family, your mom, that'll be great. I currently have a few listeners on Spotify, which is exciting. I'm trying to get my streaming numbers up. But I think that'll just come when I make more music that I really, 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 really love. With that being said, one of my old songs from the bedroom sessions is going to be featured in a documentary, which I'm so excited about. Look, just like that, I suddenly become a person because I have an eyebrow, like this half of my face versus this half of my face. But yeah, it's going to be in a documentary about foster care. A local filmmaker reached out to me and said that they were interested in putting my song in their movie, and I was like, sure. They almost said no, that they changed their mind because they were able to find something else, but they came back and they're like, no, we really actually can't stop thinking about this song, which made me feel so special because that's all, like, as a songwriter, when you write a song, you really hope that it hits people a certain way in terms of makes them feel things. And to know that someone reached out to me initially and they said they wanted to do it, but then they're like, no, we're going to change our mind, and then they came back around to say, no, we really can't stop thinking about this song. It was like so validating as a songwriter to know that a song that I wrote from a place that that I needed in the moment is now turning around to be something that somebody else needs to tell a story. And that is anything I've ever wanted as a songwriter, was to tell stories. Like, that's what I do every time I write a song, is I'm telling a story. Sometimes it's a story about myself. Sometimes it's a story about something that I've heard. But always a story that I hope people need to hear. When I have more details about that movie, like when you can watch it, if they're having a premiere or anything, if they're having any events around it, I will definitely be letting you know on social media, because first of all, we have to support local talent, and she seems to be a really talented filmmaker, and I really want to support her. And then it's a song that I never thought anybody would ever care about. Like, I just wrote it because I needed to write it, but somebody heard it and was like, no, this is gonna help me tell a story, and I need it. Like I said, so gratifying. So that's happening with my music. Originally, when I released Fast Cars and Midnight, I was originally in the works of trying to get some music videos done, but I couldn't come up with any ideas that I was like absolutely in love with, and like, this is how we must tell the story of this song. Like, nothing was screaming at me, and I was having so much trouble, but I was really trying to get it done so that I could premiere the video at my EP release party. But at the end of the day, I got back in contact with the person who I was working with and said, I'm sorry, I know we talked about this project and about doing these things and like certain things. I can't come up with something that I honestly feel that I'm going to love and not want to redo and look back. And with this being my first real music video, I didn't want to rush it, and I didn't want to put something out that I didn't just want it to put out for the sake of putting out. So I told them that I would get back to them when I came up with something. I have yet to come up with something. Nothing is screaming at me. And that's when I realized that I'm not a filmmaker. And I probably need to collaborate with a filmmaker to come up with some ideas. But I really want it to be my idea. So as soon as I let go of my ego and collaborate with some people, we'll get some music videos for this EP because I'm in love. Like when I tell you I love this EP, you guys, you don't understand. It was such a process to make, and I would not have had it any other way. I will let you guys know when to expect the music video. But other than that, I also have some ideas for your, not necessarily new music, but new projects that I want to work on starting this year that we probably won't see until next year. But stay tuned because I am working on music and I am working on a Hearts and Hands tour part 2. I'm working to make it so that I have more time to dedicate to the things that I want to do. Because right now, the time that I have, I'm pouring that into giving you a YouTube channel so I have a way to at least be seen by you guys on a day-to-day or weekly basis, and a creative outlet for me. I had to look up some questions because I was like, wait, I remembered I had asked some questions and I haven't answered them yet in a video, so let's do that. So this precious one asked me where do I think my love for music started. And I could not exactly tell you. I know that from a young age I've always loved music and dancing, and I've always loved sounds. Even now, like I like listening to different sounds. Like I'll be walking down the street and I'll hear the way that a car horn honks, combined with the way a door just closed, combined with the way someone just took a step all together. And to me, I hear the music in that and I'll be like, oh wow, this is like, I can't describe it. Like it's something that I honestly love. So, but I do remember being very young and watching The Little Mermaid for the first time. I don't remember if it was 94 or 96, but I remember it clearly, like watching The Little Mermaid when it came out, and thinking to myself, oh my goodness, her voice is beautiful. I want to be the Little Mermaid. And now we get our own Black Little Mermaid. I'm so excited for Halle Bailey. But that movie for sure was a movie that helped me really fall in love with music. When I was younger, I was really only allowed to watch public television. I wasn't allowed to watch too much of the other stuff, like on Nickelodeon and all that stuff. I was very sheltered, you guys, which I don't regret. I do appreciate how I was raised. But I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of the stuff on TV. I was only allowed to watch MPT, PBS, public television. While watching that, I used to see these little kids performing at Carnegie Hall, being like extremely masterful of whatever they were doing. I saw a young child playing the violin. It made me want to play the violin. This looks crazy on camera, but I promise you, it doesn't look like that in real life. I used to see these kids being so amazing in their music and their art on Maryland Public Television. I was like, I need to do that. I want to learn how to do that. And so I begged my parents for years, please, 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 can you get me a violin? I really want to learn how to play the violin. Please get me a violin. And after years of begging, by the time I was 10. I was 10 when I got my first violin. I still have that violin sitting right over here. I begged to join the orchestra at school, but they said, no, you're still too young. You have to be 11 years old. And I was like, okay. But as soon as I turned 11 years old, you better believe I went up to the directors. I was like, I'm ready. I'm 11. Let me join. But better believe I was in there. I practiced every day. My parents were tired of hearing hot crust buns, but that is really where I dived headfirst into music and music theory and different sounds and all the different orchestra instruments. Anything I can hear music in. I can hear music in. Right now I hear the AC in the house is going off, and then there's the tick tick tick, the tick tock of my wall clock and I hear the sounds that can come together in a musical way. So I hear music around me all the time, and I never want that to end. And the next question that I had was from a dear friend. This friend asked me, when or what do you think my next music project will be? My next music project, my really big next musical goal is to redo all of my current music. I have been releasing music out of my bedroom, all of that stuff, self-released, self-produced, self-recorded, all of that. Am I the best? No, but it was fun. So I was doing all that since I got out of school, like 2013, 2014, because I really wanted something to do. I was like, I really want to share my music with people and I don't know how. And I figured out how to record by myself. I figured out how to get my music out by myself, like onto the internet. I figured out how to get onto iTunes by myself. It was great for what it was at the time. But now I've grown so much as an artist, and I really want to go back and re-record a lot of my music. So the next big thing that I want to do is to re-record all of my music. And it's a daunting task because I'm like, that is a lot of music. But I also want to record a lot of songs that you've never heard. I'm hoping to put out something really small, like maybe a holiday track, just a song, or just one thing for the end of the year. I wanted to put out something at the end of the summer, but that didn't work out in terms of where my priorities were and what I was able to handle at the time, so that didn't work out for me. This week I have been recording a week in the life, so I recorded all of my Monday. Today is Tuesday, and I have more stuff to record, but it has been great so far. Like, I love making videos. It's fun, it's exciting. New music is on the way. I feel like I'm always saying that music is on the way, because that is the reality of an artist. You're always working on the next. Like, even while you're working on what you're working on now, you're thinking about, okay, this can become. So you're always working towards the next thing, which is fun and exciting, but you have to remind yourself to slow down. Be here, be now. It's been fun just trying to create video content and ideas. And if you haven't already, you should take a look at a musical journey so far, because it really does. I did not know I had that much footage, vlog type footage, from when I was working on my show, until I went and looked on the internet and I went deep into my hard drive. But I had so much video footage from like the process of me doing the show I didn't know that I had, and it was just so nostalgic. It was exciting to see everything that I went through. Let me tell you something. So there's a part of that video where I'm just like, I don't know how I'm about to pay this festival fee, which is when, in order to get into the festival, once they select you, you then have to do a registration fee, which is understandable. But at the time, I didn't have the full-time job that I have now, and I made probably I'd say maybe $400 to $500 a month. At the time, maybe I had to get stuff for the show, pay for photo shoots and pay for all of that stuff, and figure out how to pay my cast. And then I had to figure out how to pay a festival fee. When I tell you that I overdrafted my account just to pay that festival fee, it's like little, and I have so many stories about how I didn't know how I was doing something and I just figured it out, or the things that I did to get what I needed was a lot. The things that I did to make sure that my EP release show could happen a lot. So it's like when the artists tell you that they pour a lot into their shows, like I don't have a financial backer. For the word she gave me, I was very fortunate that I got a handful of donations, which was amazing because those donations at the time they went into the festival fee, but I still needed to come up with a little bit more money for the festival fee. Those people, I'm so appreciative of them. I remember exactly who you are. I did not forget. And as soon, like, I have some things coming in relation to the words she gave me. And those people that donated to the show back in 2017, y'all are at the top of the list. I did not forget about you. You guys are at the top of the list. I got you. I'm very appreciative of people who support me from day one, and I honor them, and I remember who you are. The dancers and the actresses for the show, they were so supportive, so patient with me, because let me tell you, it took me a really long time to pay everyone from the show. And it taught me the biggest lesson in the world. Make sure you have all of your coin in the bank before you make promises. Big lesson. Big lesson. Did I get through it? Yes. Was it stressful? Yes. Were people upset with me? Absolutely, which is understandable because you're messing with people's money. It taught me a big lesson. I did end up paying everyone, and I paid them a little bit more than what I said I was going to pay them originally because it just took me way too long. Like, I was not completely open about what I was going through at the time that prevented me from being able to fulfill my promises, but that's not their concern. That wasn't their concern. That was my issue, not their issue. So it just taught me a really big lesson as somebody who was in charge. Like, get all your money together before you start making promises, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you're just like, how do I pay everyone? Which is where I was, and was really stressed out. But at the end of the day, I paid everyone more than what I said I was going to originally pay them. So I think I did what I was responsible on my end for that part of the show. Yeah, I would never do that again. It taught me a lot as a performer. It taught me a lot as a person in charge. I forever value that experience and value the people that worked with me through that experience. I have a writing retreat that I'm taking myself on coming up that I am going to be using to start off a lot of what I have to work on in terms of like the redoing some of the songs and figuring out my workflow and stuff. So a lot of that is happening this weekend. I'm so excited to get away. I'm excited to have some time alone, so that'll be good. And I'm excited to just write. I posted a clip of literally 2 seconds of me just fooling around on my guitar because I hadn't touched it in a minute. So I gave up today. Don't wanna recall the mistakes I made, and people liked it. So hopefully I will get a chance to share more of my songwriting process with you guys. Now, as soon as I master how to do false lashes, it's done. It's over for all of you. But yes, this is the finished look. Ready to go to work. Put on some earrings and calling it a day. But thanks again for stopping by. This is the life of Solia, always on the go somewhat, always got somewhere to be, always got something to do. And I was happy to answer some questions about what I'm working on and what inspires me. And if you haven't already, go ahead and just like this video. And I don't know why you made it this far without subscribing, but let's just go ahead and do that right now. And I hope to see you all next time. Remember, I am Solia, and you are wonderful. I'll see you soon. Bye.